Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Akil back here with another episode. Um, this time, I wanted to talk about something that was a little bit different than my normal pace, but it's not so crazy. But it's something that's really important if you lived here for a long time. Again, I've been here for 20 years, and I noticed that one of the main differences, the big things that I enjoy about living here for so have enjoyed about living here for so long that I kind of take for granted. I don't really realize it until I go back to the West. Is the feeling of just safety and comfort I get. Like, it's something I take for granted, and I can't really explain it. It's something I never really knew or realized that I felt living in America for as long as I did, for growing up there. That, like, I always had, and I think everyone who lives there does, is have a sense of kind of, for lack of a better word, self awareness or self consciousness, or like a radar. I call it a radar. And living here is basically allows me to take that radar screen off, if you will. Um, they got the people here doing the Mario Kart thing over there, but never doing that. But anyway, like, live just being here, like just walking down the street, walking around by myself. I'm not really doing anything special. I'm not bothering anybody. Nobody's really bothering me, and I do have a chance to kind of be comfortable in my own skin here in a way that I really didn't have the chance to do in the West. I was always aware of potential danger, possible threats or things like that. Even if I felt even if I was a place where I felt safe, you still have to be aware of your surroundings, and it's a great thing, especially coming from a place where you have that radar screen on all the time, and you're able to turn it off. It's a really big relief. It's a really big, I can't even describe it, the feeling. Like, America has its issues, of course. Um, I don't even need to go over it, but it is something that is just kind of been ingrained, I guess, me growing up in America, the East Coast. Uh, apprehension about the police, apprehension about different groups of people, races, and things like that. But even though I'm much more of a minority here than I was in the States, I really don't feel that sense of awareness that I had uh, in America. It's totally fine. I'm totally cool with it. Like, some people might find it lonely, and I don't know. That's, I guess, up to the individual how you feel about it. But just being able to be, in your own skin, I think is a really, really important thing, a really great thing, and it's something that I kind of take for granted now. I don't really realize it until I basically go back to America. And then when I do, I kind of, as soon as I'm in the airport, I'm like, I kind of have to switch back on that switch. Um, but let me know with a like or comment. What you think, if you've been here, if you felt that way. Does it throw you off? Is it disconcerting? Whatever it is, please let me know. Because I wasn't even aware of it until I actually settled in to life here. Probably a couple of years deep, I think, maybe three, maybe 2 years deep. Because the first year in Japan, you're just kind of like trying to survive and figure things out. But after a while, once you get, oh, this is IKEA. Okay, they got a little IKEA shop here. Um, I've never been in here. I think a lot of people just go in there for food, but yeah, but basically after you get past kind of survival mode, and you're really um, comfortable with your everyday life, your surroundings, your neighborhood. You got a circle of friends. Maybe you got a little, someone you messing with or something like that. You kind of get used to everyday life here, and you realize, like, nobody gonna mess with you. Like, of course you still have to be respectful. You have to be aware of your surroundings, of course, but you don't really have to be on defense mode, or offense mode. And I sometimes I see some videos of people who are new to the country, starting beef, or taking offense to things. And I really think that's because they are seeing things through the lens of their home country. I can't speak to everyone. Again, I'm just talking about my experience here. So, that's just how I see things. But I know, like, the way I kind of carry myself in and the experience that I've had here, that's just something I don't really have to deal with. I don't really have to think about. Of course, like, if those things do happen, fine, I'll deal with it. But um, it never really has gotten to a level where I feel like I have to flip that switch. You know what I'm saying? And even I don't even want to flip that switch because I was actually talking with Japanese people about it several years ago, and they were asking me like, okay, well, if the X and Y and Z happens, like, what would you do? And I was trying to explain to them like, basically, if that type of situation happens, I lose regardless because trust me, I know. Like, let's say for example, I get into a fight or something like that here. Um, it doesn't really even matter. And this is just my advice for you guys as well, coming here. You got to think about things like in a little bit of a different way. And Japan is a bit disarming in a sense where, you might think everything's so safe and everything's so nice and everyone's so polite. But also at the same time, like you gotta understand that you're still an outsider here, and so a lot of the rules they don't apply to you in certain ways, and it might not come into play at all, especially if you're here, like respecting being respectful and everything like that. But you get out of line, you gonna mess around and find out. And I think people do mess around and find out sometimes, and they're really surprised when things get turned a way that they're not really expecting. Now, I'm not saying like you really have to worry about that when your everyday life. I don't worry about that in my everyday life because, like, I'm a law-abiding citizen, and as long as you're doing that and you're just, doing the right thing, I don't think you have anything to worry about at all. But I do encourage people coming here to get out of the mindset that like you have to, stand your ground or defend your territory, whatever, whatever, whatever. Because generally speaking, this country is very, very accommodating, very, very accommodating, and even the people are very, very accommodating. Now, I would say like tourism here has thrown a wrench into things, like in a way that I haven't seen so far as like the mixture of people that are coming here. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good opportunity for the country to really grow and evolve, and for people to and like Japanese people here to really learn how to like internationalize in a way that really it hasn't internationalized since I've been here. And I'm really interested to see like how if this trend of like Japan being a cool place to go, like Tokyo, even I'm in Shibuya now, being Shibuya being the hot spot, kind of Times Square type place. If that continues for like the next 5, 10, whatever so years, I really wonder like how that's going to affect like Japanese people themselves, and how it's really going to affect like the mentality of people growing up and their willingness to like truly internationalize and truly like get along with other people. Because for me, that's been like one of the main things that I have been not gripe. Okay, I used to gripe about it in my 20s, but in early 30s a little bit. But people's, like the country's lack of ability to truly internationalize. But I mean, now it's getting to the point where it's no choice. Basically, they got to, and so we'll see like how it affects people in the future. But I don't think it'll make people like bitter or cold just because there's like centuries and centuries of culture kind of built into hospitality to I think like treating guests with respect. And as long as like the overwhelming majority of people here do that, and I do think they do, then I think it'll be fine. And if you come here, like, whether you're in a nightclub, whether you're in a bar, whether you're just like seeing someone, you guaranteed, unless you want some BS, man, you're gonna overwhelmingly have um, be surprised by the amount of like warm hospitality that you're met with. And I really am a firm believer that the energy you receive is the energy that you give out. And if here, especially if you give out that kind of positive energy, you will receive it back, and people will kind of deal with you in a positive way, appropriately. They'll see you for the type of person that you are, and that's how I've been able to kind of build relationships, build friendships, just get along with people in general. And I'm not saying like, you gotta let people punk you or things like that. You can speak up and stand up for yourself, but there is a way of doing things that I think you should be aware of while you're here. Again, please let me know with a comment. Let me know with a like if you agree, if you disagree. What I mean, I think this is just my interpretation of the thing. So I do want to hear like you guys' impression, you guys' interpretation, you guys' thoughts on this as well. But it is one of the best things like that I experienced living here, and I can't really express it. I like me going back 20 years ago, talking about explaining like how it feels just to like walk around and be like free, I guess, free, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying like I was like in a cage or stuff like that in the states, but it is I think a different level to it that I really didn't understand until like being here. I think like experiencing it here is quite refreshing. That's why, especially people, especially black people, especially black men, um, of course, like you have some people who are generally intimidated and things like that. But I do think that also comes with that natural guard that we have up, just from being from the environments that many of us are from. We kind of don't know how to relax. We don't know how to chill. We don't know how to just go with the flow. I thought I did at first. Well, not only that, like even before I came here, but I was able to get over several of those things before coming here. And then after coming here, I think it took it to another level that allowed me to relax and be my true self in a way that I never expected. And I think whether you're here for a short term or long term, I do think that's something that you're gonna really appreciate, and you're gonna really be able to see, especially the longer that you're here. So just take that with whatever you think, whatever you feel. Let me know what you think about it, and I'm gonna holler at you next time. Peace.